Hi, welcome to Planetary Calendars, Astro Portraits. I'm Ralph Diamichis, one of the astrologers. The chart today is part of our Wonder Woman series, and it's Jessica Chastain. And it's about actresses that play very powerful roles that are physically powerful, they're aggressive, they're martial, they're mercurial. And I first started getting interested in this because of Jessica Chastain, because she is in some ways the quintessential role for this. And the movie Zero Dark 30, which is about chasing Osama bin Laden, she plays the part of the CIA operative, the officer who is pursuing him for so many years. It's pretty much the entire thing she's done since she joined the agency. And there's a certain point where the Delta Force soldiers who are about to go out and saying, do you really think he's there? And her line is, yes, he is there, and you're going to go kill him for me. It is such a martial line, but it's martial on both sides, because remember, there was a thing when Pluto was discovered, astrologers decided, we should assign a sign to it, and they assigned Scorpio, where traditionally Mars was always had two signs. It has two children. It has Scorpio and Aries. Scorpio, there's the responsive or feminine sign. Aries is the dynamic or masculine sign. It was like that up until the 40s. It's a long time, considering that astrology goes back thousands of years. And yet, many of the astrologers who were brought up in the 50s, of which there's an awful lot of us, and following that, all heard this idea that, Pluto rules Scorpio. This is what we were taught. And now it's taken us, half a century to start saying, whoa, wait a second. What was your thinking on this? You knew nothing about this planet. You knew it was there. And you're suddenly taking one of the signs, the sign of feminine power, feminine aggressiveness, and assigning it to this tiny little planet way out in space, the unknowable space. This has got to be male astrologers doing this, because no woman astrologer is going to do this. I don't think, because the idea that feminine power is unknowable. It's quite knowable. It's quite knowable. After all, who births babies? It's not a trick question. So let's look at Jessica's chart, because it is very martial and it's very mercurial, and that's something you see as a pattern throughout these actresses' charts. The other part that shows up are some Jupiter and some Venus, because Venus, they are, after all, actresses. They have to have the artistry, in their soul and in their working. She is born at March 24th, 1977, at 10:44 p.m. PST in Carmichael, California. We're using +8 hours here. She's born at 4 degrees Aries, with the sun at 4 degrees Aries, Mercury at 13 degrees Aries, Venus at 22 degrees Aries, the South Node at 24 degrees Aries, and Chiron at 29 degrees Aries. So she's got a lot of Aries there. And not only does she have a lot of Aries there, she's got the South Node there, which means that she's done this before. This very Aries personality, something that she arrived in this lifetime knowing how to do. It's her talent. It's her gift. She's got the moon at 5 degrees Gemini. So she's got a Mercury-ruled moon. Okay? Very mercurial. The Aries Sun is in the 6th house. That's Mercury's house. That's Virgo. That's Mercury's house. Remember I said the strong Mercury connection? You've got the moon in Gemini, a Mercury-ruled sign, in the 8th house. A Mars-ruled house. Scorpio's house. Interesting little play there that's going on. What does she have rising? Scorpio, the sign of feminine power, martial feminine power. Boom. Okay. Now, it's interesting with that strong Aries, you could, expect that she would be a redhead. That shows up a lot. You would expect more by fire signs over by the rising. But who's there? right above the horizon in what's called the Gogolon spot, that hot spot right above the horizon, is the planet of Uranus. Now, Uranus, is barely visible. There's times when you can actually see Uranus with the naked eye, but most of the times you can't. It's a very electric planet. It's very exciting. It creates changes, and when people have it at the rising, they many times are very exciting people. In Scorpio, it's exciting but powerful. She also has Juno, the asteroid Juno, at the rising, which is the asteroid of marriage. At the late in the sign, 2954 degrees. Interesting. A powerful degree. That last degree of a sign is very powerful. So she's had a very strong sense of wanting to be married, or what marriage is about, since she was, born. And she has a midheaven at 10 degrees Virgo, right? In the Gemini, once again, a Mercury-ruled sign, Virgo, 10 degrees Virgo. It's interesting that she has the Saldana, which is a nodal point there, which means that in work, she's really nice to work with as part of a community. She also has her part of fortune there, and Hygeia there, part of fortune up in this area. And once again, Virgo among actors and actresses means they follow directions very well. They're very meticulous in their work. They're very, they'll show up knowing all of their lines, and probably the other actors' lines too. So, but once again, it's another Mercury ruled sign. The whole chart is Mars or Mercury ruled. Now, what's interesting is that now the Mercury's in a Mars ruled sign, Aries, okay? And it's in the 6th house, a Mercury ruled house. Where's Mars? This is where the actress shows up. Mars is in Pisces. Mars is in Pisces in the 5th house, the house of the sun, the house of creativity. Now, the sun is already very strong. The sun is in what's called its exalted position. This is like the best friend position. So the Aries sun tends to be like the best friend position to the sun. It really it glows well, right? So it's a strong sun position. The Mars is in the house ruled by the sun, the 5th house. So it's a sign that the Mars in the 5th house allows itself to be very creative. The 5th house is about creativity. In Pisces, the sign of what? Among other things, make-believe. It's also very athletic, but it's very much about make-believe. This is someone who has a very creative imagination. When you get her onto a set, and the actor really needs the director really needs a lot from her to kind of make stuff up and create stuff, she has no problem doing make-believe and doing it very completely, really immersing yourself into it. That thing about Pisces is they're able to immerse themselves in that image. The Mars is trying the Uranus. So that Uranus just above the horizon, she's able to pick up a lot of data. She's very perceptive. Scorpio rising is a very perceptive position. It really kind of looks at you with X-ray vision. This is a very perceptive person. The sun in the 6th house means she's very dedicated to her work. The sun, Mercury, Venus, South Node, Chiron. She's very dedicated to her work, to her approach. All these places where Mercury and Mars are so important. Why is that so important? Because Mercury and Mars are the planets that run ahead and walk into things and don't think about it. On the chessboard, they're the pawns. They're the ones that are willing to go out there and get into trouble. King says, go out there, and they say, yes, sir. Queen says, go out there, and they say, yes, ma'am, and they go out there, and they take the risk, and they get into it. And here, one of the things we've seen with these charts, with these Wonder Women, these Superwomen, these actresses who play these roles, is having strong Mars and Mercury signs again and again and again, showing up that ability to go out there and accomplish things. And to take the risk, and there's a youthfulness to it too. That's the other thing about it. There is a lot of youthfulness to these signs. You always view Mars and Mercury ruled signs as being young. So that's a little insight into Jessica Chastain, about her chart, why she has that great presence, that exciting presence from that Uranus rising, that bright light from all that stuff in Aries, and that X-ray vision that comes with Scorpio, and then the playfulness that comes from that moon in Gemini. So until next time, come visit us at Planetary Calendar Astrology on YouTube or at planetarycalendar.com. We post our portraits on every Tuesday, and we post our forecasts every Friday. And of course, at our website, you can find the planetary calendar and our books. Until next time, be well.